So all of us face different kinds of challenges on daily basis, right? Sometimes it is garbage, sometimes rowdyism, sometimes electricity is not working, some problem of the other, right? Most of these challenges have to be addressed by the government. At the local level, it might be the municipality, BBMP, or at district level or state level, the government, we are electing the government to help solve the problems that we have. So we can have a good quality of life, right? Sometimes the government is not able to solve all these problems. So at that time, then social sector comes in to solve some of these problems at the level of the community. Now if a child in your community has a problem, someone has beaten them up, where can they go?
Police station.
Police station. Yes. To go, if they don't know that I can go to the police station, what will they do?
They'll go to their parents.
Okay, good. If a child does not have parents,
Elders.
huh?
The
Sorry.
guardians.
Guardians.
Okay, I can't hear who's saying. Yeah, sorry.
Elders, teachers, or guardians.
Elders, teachers, or guardians. Yes. Sorry?
They keep their problems to themselves.
They keep the problems to themselves. No, now if someone is beaten them up, what will they do?
If they don't have parents, so they'll say someone bigger than them, but
They'll go to an adult. Yeah. They'll keep it to themselves. Okay. If they don't have anyone to go to. Yeah. So in many cases, for children, for example, there was an NGO many years back which set up a child helpline. A child helpline number. Yes. So you all know that, no? Hmm? Now after almost 30 years or something, government has taken that up. Okay. But for 30 years, it was an NGO, a community-based organization, which used to run this helpline. So any child had any problem, at home, outside, in school, on the street, if they lost their parents, if they were beaten up, if they were lost, they don't know how to go back home. So any organization that works for social work, they are called a non-governmental organization or NGO. So most people who want to do social work, who do social work, work for an NGO, which is called a non-governmental organization. Or in some cases, it is called a civil society organization. Or because so many volunteers work in this place, it's also called voluntary organization. So there are different names, but most common name is NGO. Okay. So there was an NGO like this which set up a child helpline for people, any young person, anywhere in the country can call this number and get help. Okay. Many times you might have heard or seen that some kid ran away from school or ran away from home, got into railway station, got onto a train, went to a different city. Now they don't know which city they are in, they don't know how to go back. So then this child helpline can help. Right? So for challenges that the government is not able to solve, there is NGOs which can solve that problem, which are helping the government to solve that problem. And that sector is called the social sector. Now my own journey was that I did not want to work in the social sector. I grew up in a family where my parents told me you have to study very hard, get top rank, go to college, do well in college, get a good job, so that we as a family can come out of poverty and be good, have a good quality of life. So I did that. I studied hard, I went to school, I went to college, and then I wanted to study more, I wanted to do my master's. But in between, I already got a job. My first job was to work in Xerox company. You know those Xerox machines? So I was selling those Xerox machines when I was 21 years old. That was my first job. When I was in that job, through another organization, I got a chance to go to Finland. How many of you know where Finland is? No, even I didn't know. It is a country in North Europe, north and east of Europe. It's a very, very cold country. I went to Finland on an exchange program, student exchange program for 3 months. And I was 21 years old. That time I started thinking, what do I want to do with my life? And I met students in university there, in college in Finland. And many of the students were doing a lot of voluntary work. And they were traveling to other countries. They were coming to India, they were going to Mexico, they were going to other countries and working with children, working with women, working with climate, working on farming and agriculture, and then coming back and finishing studies. So I was thinking, look at me, I've just finished school, went to college, now doing job. I'm not doing anything more with my life. So I started thinking about that. They all had good home, public services, government was working. So when I saw that, I was like, how do we make India like that? How do we make India a country where everyone is treated equal? It does not matter whether you're rich or poor, whether you look some way or other way, what language you speak, what religion you come from. So with that idea, I came back and I started talking to friends from college that I have this idea, I want to change India. They said, okay, then why don't we start doing some volunteer work first. So what volunteer work meant was, we found someone who was already working in an NGO, and she told us, volunteer work is where on Saturday, Sunday, when you're not working, you go to a care home, like an orphanage, like an ashram, and you go and help people there. So she introduced us to 2 ashrams for children. These are children who didn't have parents, no mother, father, or children who had run away from home and we could not find their mother and father. So we used to go to this ashram and we used to play games with the children. We used to do artwork, play games, play cricket, football, kite flying, celebrate festivals, and children used to love it. We also used to enjoy it. Sometimes we'll take them out to Kaban Park, to a movie. So the more I did that, the more I got interested in this work. In between, I got a job with a large bank, to work at a bank. So I said, okay, I'll work at the bank, I'll make a lot of money. Saturday, Sunday, I'll do this. But I got so interested in this work, because this was to give me so much joy, so much happiness, that after 1 year, I decided to leave that and come and work here full time. So that's how Dream a Dream was started. It was started as a group of people working as volunteers for free on weekends. And then after some time, I decided to come and work full time. So I moved here full time. When I moved full time, both my parents were very angry with me. Because in the social sector, you don't get as much money as you get in a company job. So my salary at that time in the company job was 20,000 rupees. This is, I'm talking 2002. When I joined Dream a Dream, it was 3,000 rupees. So I had to tell my parents, give me 1 year, 2 years, I'll do this, then I'll go back and work in a company, which never happened. So our organization, Dream a Dream, works with young people. Some of you have had experience, right? We work with young people in helping young people like you build life skills. Do you know what are life skills? Life skills are skills that we all use every day to go through life. Now suppose if you're living very far away, it takes you 1 hour to come here. So you have to plan. Okay, if I have to be here by 8 o'clock, I have to be inside the bus at 7 o'clock because it'll take me 1 hour. That is planning. It's a life skill. If you don't have that skill, you'll come here late, right? And you'll miss. You're listening to me right now. That is a life skill. You're asking questions. That is a life skill, right? You're making sense of what I'm saying. That's a life skill. So every day we use these skills in life. These skills become very important in job, very important when you have an emergency in your life. When someone falls ill, you have an accident, and something bad happens, you use your life skills to get through the situation, right? So we help children, young people like you, develop these life skills. So for 23 years now, Dream a Dream has been working with thousands of young people like you to develop your life skills. For me, this was important because when I used to work with care home, do you know what a care home is? Like an orphanage, yes. So when we used to go there and work with children, they used to get food, clothing, house, education. But as per the law, as per the government law, at the age of 18, they're supposed to leave the orphanage and go, live on their own, independent. But what we saw is that many young people didn't have life skills. So when they went out into the world, they were struggling. They didn't know how to make decisions. What job should I do? Should I study or not study? If I do the job, how should I do my job well? How do I make friends? How do I move forward in my career? They didn't know how to take these decisions, so they used to get frustrated and come back. So they didn't have the life skills. This is the work we do. Next round of questions. Yes.
Sir, how can we join for Dream and Dream?
How can you join for Dream and Dream? Okay, good question.
What's a good word like NGO, life skill and a dream and dream? Which word we have to say?
Word for what?
Like if someone is asking like at what in school other activities, so we have to say as a dream and dream or.
Now, how can anyone join Dream and Dream? Like any job, you have to apply. Right? You have to apply. You have to send your resume. Then you will go through an interview process. You will see which job is available. And then based on the job that is available and your skills and your interest, you will get the job.
To whom we have to send our resume?
Right now, it is on the website. So you go to the website, there's an email address there. So you have to write to that email address with your resume and say, I'm interested in working with Dream a Dream.
Age, which age?
So for part-time work, you can start from the age of 16. Yes, part-time work is about 20 hours a week. Okay. For full-time work, your age has to be minimum 18. And we don't look for any college qualifications. No. We will see what skills you have, what life skills you have, and what you're into. So I've had many people who have inspired me over the years, but most of my inspiration has come from young people, and there are many of them. So right now there is one young man. He is 28 years old today, but when I met him, he was 10 years old, and he was very, very short. He lived in a family with 5 brothers and sisters. His father had passed away, so his mother was the only one working. So from the age of 6, he had started working. And he used to lift bricks at construction site. So at the age of 10 then, someone found a school for him, a free school run by another NGO, residential school where he could stay also and he'll get education also. So he joined that school. But because he worked from the age of 6 carrying bricks, heavy bricks, he's very short. He didn't grow his height. When we started working with that school, we introduced a hockey program, field hockey program. And he joined the hockey program. And he fell in love with hockey. Loved it. We used to do 3 sessions, 6:30 in the morning. And he used to come, changing 3 buses to the hockey stadium, always on time, get ready, practice. He loved hockey. Very, very passionate. Became one of the best hockey players we had in the team. When he turned 18, he came and joined Dream a Dream as a facilitator. Then moved from facilitator to working in the operations team, where he was managing operations of the organization. Managing stock, managing what to purchase, what to give where, what school supplies are needed where, what sports supplies are needed. So managing all of that. But he continued to be physically fit. He used to play hockey every weekend. He used to do gym-based exercises at his home. So if you meet him, he's very, very fit. Last week he came and told me, so he got married, he has a beautiful kid, he's working at Dream and he wants to start his gym. So because I'm interested in fitness, I want to start my own gym. I have the money for it, and that is what I'm going to do. Yeah. So stories like his inspire me. So people like him inspire me. When I met him when he was 10 years old, we were all very worried for him. But today he is doing very well in life. And he's making his own choices, he's dealing with life's challenges. He has a wonderful family that he takes care of. So these stories inspire me.
Is there any retirement age for dependent?
No, there is no retirement age for Dream a Dream. Because we are a private organization, there's no retirement age. But how do we get salary? Sir asked, how do we get money? So because we are a non-governmental organization, there are different kinds of non-governmental organization. At Dream a Dream, our money comes through donations. During Ganesh Haba, you all ask money, no? Go house to house. So that we do more of. We go to companies and ask for money. We go to rich people and ask for money. We go to large organizations and ask for money. And that money is then used to run the organization. So that money is used for programs for young people. Our salary comes from there. Our operational cost comes from there. So we get money through donations. That is how we question. So that's what I wanted to talk about. So great question. Yes.
Sir, if no one is not donating you, sir, what you will do, sir?
I'll close. That's a very important question you ask. Right? That if no one gives donation to us, what happens? Right? So yes, if we don't have money, we'll have to close down and stop the work we're doing. But that is why we have to plan. Right? Like you plan your career, we also have to plan the future of the organization. So what we do is, we make a budget for the full year. That full year we need, say, 10 lakhs rupees. And we start raising money right away. At any point of time, we make sure at least 3 months of money is there in the organization, in the bank. If you're doing well, we're getting more donations, and we make sure 6 months of money is there. Right? Even with your careers, you'll be thinking like that. No? If your salary is 15,000, like sir said, if your house expense is 10,000, 5,000 you'll save. So tomorrow suddenly if you lose your job, you should have some money in the bank, no, till you find the new job. So this is also like that. We have to plan for 1 year, plan for 2 years, and build money in the bank so that crisis does not come, that problem does not happen. Now Dream a Dream has been running for 23 years. There have been many years where we were struggling for money, but we always had this 3 months, 4 months of reserve that helped us. So there are different kinds of NGOs, right? My NGO works with children, right, and young people. There are other NGOs that work for climate, that work to ensure to give food to children in schools. There are some that work for women. There's some that work to give money. There's some that work for employment. There's some that help you start your business. There's so many different kinds of NGOs in the whole country. There are lakhs and lakhs of NGOs. We are not able to get exact number also, how many NGOs are there. In each place, whether it's a village, small town, city, depending on the problems of that place, different NGOs might come. So suppose in your community, now where do you live?
Peenya second stage.
Peenya second stage. Now in Peenya second stage, there are a lot of industries, factories are there. A lot of people working in those factories. Now sometimes the people in the factories don't get enough salary. They get very low salary. So there might be an NGO in that area to help people get the right salary. So they'll go and talk to the employers, negotiate with them, so people get the right salary. Sometimes some people might be working for 14 hours, 16 hours extra work, but they don't get extra time salary. So NGOs will go and do that. In many factories like this, you might have children working. But you're not, as per law, you're not allowed to give job to children. That is illegal. So there might be an NGO there which is going to these factories, inspecting these factories and making sure that there are no children working there. And all children go to school. If children are working there, then that factory owner can go to jail because it's illegal for children to work. Right? So there are different kinds of NGOs that solve different kinds of problems in our society. Now there are, for example, again wherever you live, a lot of mothers, single mothers are there who don't have husbands and they're working, but they might not have ration card or they might not have Aadhaar card. So there will be an NGO which will come in and help them get ration card, help them get Aadhaar card. Because when you have ration card and Aadhaar card, you can get benefits from the government. Right? Government will come up with different schemes. Many years back, government came up with a scheme saying, if girls study till 10th standard, then the girl will get a cycle. Right? The government will give free cycle. In many villages, because of that, girls finish school, and that cycle was also used by the whole family. Sometimes to fill up water, sometimes to go to market. Right? So to get these schemes from the government, you need Aadhaar card, you need ration card, you need PAN card. There are NGOs who can help you get that. Right? So there are all kinds of NGOs which help communities, people like you and me, with different kinds of needs. Sometimes many women who are single parents, they want to start their own business. Right? Maybe start a chaat business, maybe make pakodas and sell pakodas and bhajis, maybe sell idlis in the morning. For that you need money, no? To start a new business you need 10,000, 20,000 rupees to buy materials. There are NGOs which will give loan for free, so they can start that business, or they might support. There are NGOs which give scholarship for students like you. If you want to do a professional course like hotel management, which is 3 lakhs, there will be NGOs which will say, okay, we will give you scholarship for this. So there are different kinds of NGOs who are working to serve society. Now the kind of work you can do in these different kinds of NGOs, the immediate most important and popular work is working on the field. Now you stay in Pina, you know the neighborhood there, you know people living there. So if tomorrow I as an NGO want to start work in Pina, I will hire you and say, no, you know people in that neighborhood, in that community. You go house to house and get me details of the people. What are they earning? What are they struggling with? So I can come and help. Right? I will not hire someone from Jayanagar to come and help me. I'll hire someone from Pina only. Right? So first kind of job is field work, where you work on the field in communities. So today a lot of young people who work at Dream a Dream come and run life skills programs for young people like you. But 10 years back they were also young people in the program. Today they are adults, they've come back and they work in the communities. So that is field work. That is the entry level job. After that, you might move to the next level, where you start working for one particular program or one particular department. So you might work for the program department, where now you are designing curriculum, designing training, doing trainings, you are building new projects. Or you might work in operations, where you are helping raise money, go out and get donations, or managing finances. Now, I'll give you an example. Another young person, when he turned 18, he came and started working with us as a life skills facilitator. And he used to teach football to the children. He started doing very well, got promoted to become a trainer. So he was training other people on how to do our programs. He started doing that very well, but he was passionate about photography. So then he got a scholarship from Dream a Dream to go and learn photography. Then he came back and started working in what we call a communication department at Dream a Dream, where he became the official photographer for the organization. So all events, all programs, he will bring his camera and take photographs. Okay. Then he got more interested in doing more. So he started making videos. So then he learned how to make videos. So today, all the videos that we put out on our website, on social media, Prasanna makes them. So today he's a videographer, he's a photographer. And why is he so good at his job? Because he came from that same experience. So he understands what young people are struggling with, what young people want to say. He asks the right kind of questions. Right? So he converted his passion into his career. If he was just a facilitator, he would have probably been earning 15,000-20,000. But today, because he's in the communications team and he's doing such an important job for Dream a Dream, today he earns 60,000 rupees per month. And he's only about 30 years old now. Okay. So there are different kinds of jobs that you can move to. The next level is where you can start your own organization. Some of you might be interested in starting your own organization. Right? I'll tell you a story of this young man I met in Bombay. His name was Ashok. He came from a slum community in Bombay, where he joined an NGO which used to teach football. So he learned football, then he became a football coach, and then he got out of that organization and started his own organization called Oscar Foundation. And he started teaching football to kids in his community. He realized then that kids were coming to play football, but they were not going to school. So then he kept a rule saying, if you want to come to my football coaching program, you have to be enrolled in school. I have to see admission form. They'll get admission form but still not attend school. So then he tied up with the school. And he said that you have to give me attendance sheet to know that this kid has come to school. That way he got all the kids in his community to go to school, to study, because everyone loved playing football. Then he built his organization. Today he's working with almost 7,000 kids in Bombay, in Ranchi, I think, in North Karnataka, in Bellary or Dharavi, Bellary, no? Yeah. He's working with 7,000 kids. He's got many of these kids now who are going to international football competitions. So every year you have 30, 40 kids who go to UK, Spain, US on competitions. And many of these kids have finished school, finished college, got better jobs. So he started his own NGO from a very young age. He started his NGO when he was only 21 years old. Okay. Even here, during COVID, for example, there was a young person in Dream a Dream. Both his parents were tailors. But when COVID happened and lockdown happened, they lost their job. Now this young man, he was also sitting at home. He was in college. College was closed. He was also sitting at home. In his neighborhood, he saw that there were hospitals who were taking care of COVID patients, but nurses and doctors there didn't have PPE kit. You know what a PPE kit is, no? That they used to wear that kit to protect themselves. So they didn't have PPE kit, and government was not supplying PPE kits. So he went on YouTube, learned how to make PPE kits. And both his parents were tailors and they had a machine at home. So he taught his parents how to stitch PPE kits, went to this hospital with a sample and said, here we are making PPE kits. I'll give it to you at a very low price. You need it, buy it from us. So the hospital gave him an order. His parents used to stitch the PPE kits. They sold that. That helped them survive, but he also made more money. So they have money that was saved. What he did, he saw that there were many people walking on the streets, right? They were going back home to Bihar, to UP. They didn't have jobs here, so they were walking and going. And these people didn't have water, didn't have food. So the money that he saved, he started using that to buy food and water for these people, and he used to go on the main road, highways, and give this food. And he was only 17 years old. That gave him an inspiration to start his own NGO. So today he runs his own NGO where he supports poor people with food, with medical support. If there's an operation to be done, he raises money for them. And today also he's only about 22, 21 years old. So the next big thing one can do is you can start your own NGO, but that's not easy because you need to go out and raise money, you have to build a team, you have to have systems and processes, but only if you're really passionate about a particular cause, a problem you want to solve. First you work for an NGO for a few years, build your skills, then you can start your own NGO. So these are the different kinds of jobs one can do. You don't need any qualifications. You can have studied anything, BCom, BA, engineering, medical, whatever you could have studied, and you can work for an NGO. If you need to do a specialized role, like you want to be a health expert, you want to work for an health NGO, then you might need some specialized education. So that I don't know what kind of specialized education one might need. But otherwise, what you need is lots of passion and hard work. and interest in solving problems in society. In terms of pay, the pay is not very high as much as you might get in the company. At entry level, your starting salary might be 10 to 15,000 per month at the entry level. But at the highest level, it might probably be about 1.5 to 2 lakhs if you become CEO of the organization, executive director of the organization. So good things about working in the social sector is that you are giving back to your community, right? You're finding ways to, you're doing well and now you're giving back to the community. You'll find a lot of joy and your life will have more meaning, more purpose, right? Because now you're also working for others, not just for yourself, right? So there's a lot of inspiration, there's a lot of passion. And then when you see someone doing well in their life, like now I've seen thousands of young people who are doing so well in their life, running their own businesses, working in good jobs, have a good family, have support systems. So you get to see that you're able to bring change in someone's life. You're able to bring someone out of poverty, you're able to give them confidence, right? So that is great. Also the culture of the sector. You're working in a space where there's a lot more kindness, a lot more helping nature, a lot more support system. So the kind of work environment is very supportive. What is difficult is you will also see sometimes you will fail, sometimes you will lose people, sometimes your project will not work, right? Second, salary might not be as high, right? Like here they say after 20 years you might be earning 70 lakhs, 1 crore. In social sector you can't earn that kind of salary. So you'll have enough salary to live a comfortable life. You will not be in poverty, but you will not be rich, right? So that is a choice you have to make. Do you want a meaningful job where you have enough comfortable life, or do you want to make a lot of money?
Comfortable.
That you have to choose. So that is the drawback of working in the social sector. There is something called Bachelor of Social Work and Masters of Social Work. These are degree courses that you can do. There are many colleges across the country where you can study. One of the top colleges is called the Tata Institute of Social Sciences, which is in Bombay. So there you can study social work. And when you go for this program, degree program is 3 years, master's program is 2 years. There they teach you about what are the different kinds of problems India is facing, how other organizations or governments have solved this problem, what do you need to understand about, say, discrimination, Bhed-Bhava, about gender issues. They'll teach you about these different issues and how to solve these problems. Once you finish the program, they'll put you through a placement process and you will get a job. It could be with an NGO or it could be with a company that is doing some work. It's not necessarily that you have to start right now. You can, as a volunteer, you can come anytime, right? To any NGO you can work. You can find an NGO in your local community only and go volunteer for them. Maybe at the age of 40, 50, when you've made some money, then you might think of changing your career and then working for an NGO that time. That is also possible.
There is any particular language in NGO?
Depends on where you work. Like if you're working in Bangalore, Kannada, Tamil. Right? If you're working in the north, it might be the language of the north. But English is a common language. Right? If you're working on the field, it might be okay not to know English, but local language will be important to know. But as you want to grow, then English might become important.